What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be taking a look at these two beauties. This is an R.L. Allan ESV New Classic Reader and a Cambridge Topaz, and comparing and contrasting a lot of the features, things that make them different, something that you might be interested in if you're looking to purchase a new Bible. Hey, for those of you guys who are new here, thank you so much for coming by the channel. While you're here at Claiming Christianity, you're going to be encouraged and equipped to be the Christians you claim to be. We're going to do that by going through scripture and doctrine together and reviewing solid tools and resources to help make your day-to-day better and more Christ-focused. If that sounds like something that's interesting to you, hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. All right, so I'm excited to show you these two Bibles today. Maybe a battle of the titans, so to speak. What I don't have is a Traveris to show you. But here on the left, we have the Cambridge English Standard Version Topaz. By the way, there are full reviews on both of these Bibles. If you're interested in a more in-depth full review on one specific Bible, this is just going to be a kind of a compare and contrast between the two and different features you might find. So this is the Cambridge ESV Topaz on the left. On the right, we have the R.L. Allan English Standard Version. This is the New Classic Readers. So these are both premium Bibles. They both go for a premium price, but they are well worth it. So maybe you're trying to decide between the two. Maybe you're trying to decide what features different Bibles have that you might be interested in and what would be better. They both go for right around the $200 range, a little bit, maybe more than that, depending on when and where you can get them. So let's take a look at them and compare them side to side. First of all, we have size. Okay, so really, in my opinion, we are comparing apples to apples here. In size, they're extremely close. One of the major differences that you can see here is the yap, and we're going to talk a little bit about that as we get going. But I really like, these are two of my favorite Bibles. They both have features that I really like. Man, if you could smash the two together for a couple of reasons, it would probably be unbeatable in my opinion. However, let's take a look at some of the exterior features here. I mentioned the yap. So this is no yap. There's nothing here. And some people like that. I don't have a preference one way or another as far as yap goes. But just in case you're not fully aware of what yap is, that's this extra. I'm still in the process of training this. But look, this has extra leather. This is what I would call semi-yap. For those of you rebinders out there, please feel free to correct me. This is what I call semi-yap. A full yap would squish. I can't do it because this is not full yap, but they would meet. And one of the things that yap does, not only is it pleasant to look at if you like the style, but it protects the pages. So you can see here that these pages have what's called art gilding. This in the Allan, R.L. Allan here, it's red. That's one of the things. While it's pretty and they did a really good job. I just happen to be a blue person, and man, the blue color, let me see, there we go. The blue color in this art gilding is slightly different. In my opinion, it matches the cover just slightly better. It's of course not a deal breaker because again, they match the ribbons, which we'll talk about, but it's very nice. They both have, these are both goat skin, and they both have really nice grain to them. I'm a guy that appreciates a good grain, and because they're real leather, the grain's all going to be different. So you got to know that going in, that your R.L. Allan isn't going to look like this. Your Topaz isn't going to look exactly like this. There might be lines, because it's real goat skin. Neither one of them, this one does have raised hubs. Okay, so the Cambridge has raised hubs. But in my opinion, they're subdued. They're not all that exaggerated, and the Allan does not. These are like stamped in little hubs. And I want to mention the ribbons. We mentioned that before we open it up and take a look at some of the interior. So one thing that, in my opinion, Cambridge could have done better, the ribbons are nice. These are premium quality ribbons. But first of all, Cambridge, I know you're listening out there to all of those of us doing Bible reviews. Give us another ribbon or two. Most of these premium Bibles come with at least 3. And I really appreciate that. Maybe you can let me know down in the comments if you hate ribbons. Let me know that. I don't know that I've heard anybody say something like that to this point. But man, 2 is nice. 3 or 4 would be even better. And if you can see here, I'm going to raise them all the way up to the top. You can see here the difference in length. So we have the Cambridge on the left. The length is, it works, but it's minimal. If you gave us another inch or two like the Allan here, these ribbons, I love these ribbons, how they just kind of hang down and they flow. And let me move the Cambridge slightly out of the way so you can see if you're using it as intended, you're marking off your pages while you're reading, there's plenty of space here left over. So those are some exterior options that you may want to consider when you're looking for a premium Bible. So let's open them up and take a look at some of the interior features. Because there's a couple things I want to point out. They both have really nice presentation pages and family records section. For a premium Bible like this, you've got to have a family records section, which is all these marriages. There should be deaths, children, even grandchildren. These are fantastic because you're going to pass this Bible down from generation to generation. But what I want to show you are a couple of the nuances, and we'll open up to the middle. A couple of the differences between reading the Bibles. Oh, here, look, squirrel. You can see the art gilding really well when it happens to be in this light laid down. So I want to show you a couple of the nuances between reading, as I've been reading both of them, what differences may look like. So they're both dual column. Okay, so this is dual column paragraph format. Again, this is the R.L. Allan New Classic Readers. Dual column paragraph format, center column references. So different Bibles have references in different places. These two are different. You may want to know that. So the Cambridge, the blue, right? This is also dual column, but this one is verse by verse. So that's a difference you may want to know about. In the Allan, you're going to get paragraph format. In the Topaz, you're going to get verse by verse. You may like one of those better than the other. In the Allan, you have center column reference. A lot of people like center column reference because it's slightly easier to see, right? They're pretty close to where you're going to be looking as opposed to something like this. This is side column reference. And if you're trying to reference something over here, you got to jump back and forth. For some people, that makes a difference. You also don't get tons and tons of room. You do get a little bit of room, depending on the page and depending on how many notes there are. You still have your textual notes, your translator's notes here at the bottom, as you do with the Allan. So they're at the bottom also. So I'm going to lift these two up just so you can kind of get a slightly bit better of a view of what that looks like. So what you're looking at is the Cambridge Topaz, and this is verse by verse. This is the ESV translation, and this is verse by verse format with a side column reference suite. Not tons of room to write in the gutter. Okay, so let's compare that a little bit closer to the Allan, and this is paragraph format with, with references down the center column reference suite. I also want to show you, and I don't know how well I'm going to be able to do this, so let's go to the same passage and just give you an idea. So we're at 2 Kings 17. Let's go to 2 Kings. And I want to try to show you as best as I can, 2 Kings 17, 1 Kings. I was wrong. Here we go. I want to try to show you the difference in, and I don't know how well this is going to work, but this is about the same place in the Bible, right? It's not going to look exactly the same, but it's similar. 17, same words, same passages. I'm going to lift these up, and I want to get them as close as I can so you can see the word count. Look at how many words are in a line and how close they are over here. And the same passages here. Again, this is basically the same spot. How many words are in a line here due to the difference in paragraph format, verse by verse, and the font that they chose. Let's see if I can get it even here. even a little bit better for you guys, because this is part of the deal, is which one might be slightly easier to read for you. The font, it's about the same size, but you can see the difference in the words and in the layout of the page. And that might be significant for you. That might be something that you're interested in. Now, I will say something that the Allan has, since we're comparing and contrasting here as we come to the end of this video. Something that the Allan has in the back that the Topaz just doesn't is this section. This illustrations. I love these illustrations. So these are amazing. They're very colorful, very vibrant. They have good information, and there's a bunch of little illustrations in the back that the Topaz doesn't have. But they do both have like concordances, okay? You're gonna get a small concordance. They're actually fairly good sized for a Bible. They're just not exhaustive. So when I say small, that's what I mean. If you get an exhaustive concordance, it's full. And then you get your indexes, map indexes, and maps in the back. But there's not a ton of extra places to write in the Topaz. Here in the Allan, you're going to get your concordance. Okay, so we got Revelation. You jump into your concordance, your tables of weights and measures, and you have this amazing section of illustrations and maps. You also get in the Allan this, and this section is huge. I think this should be in every single Bible that's printed, whether it's a $5 Bible or a $200 Bible, and that is a handful of pages. It doesn't have to be this many. Allan was very generous here, but a handful of lined note paper in the back so you can write and take notes, because hopefully you're going to be in this. This isn't going to be something sitting on your shelf. You're going to be in it, writing, reading every day, and you might want to take good notes. All right, so this has been a quick but a good comparison of some of the different features you might find in premium Bibles, and any Bibles for that matter. But in premium Bibles, both super high quality, both, in my opinion, the paper is very comparable. But a couple of different things you might want to look at as you're getting ready to spend. Do you want full yap? Do you not want full yap? Do you like raised hubs? Do you not like raised hubs? Do you want the ribbons to match? You know, in my opinion, it's like if you're going to spend the money, get exactly what you want. Do you want the art gilding and the ribbons to match and belong, or do you not? Cambridge is not well known for their amazing ribbonage. Schuyler, which we don't have represented here, and Allan are. Their ribbons are really nice and they're really long. Even more important than that is what we looked at on the inside here, is how do you want your Bible laid out? There is a third version, and I believe the Traveris, I haven't done tons of work on it yet because we don't have it, is single column. I could be wrong about that, so don't yell at me if I'm wrong. But that's another option. If you're going to spend a bunch of money on a Bible, do you want it single column and not double column? Or how about, this happens to be poetry, so let's get not into poetry. Or do you want double column verse by verse format, or double column paragraph format? Look at the difference as you're reading, and there's no break. In a verse by verse format, there are breaks, and maybe that's easier. Maybe you're a pastor or a preacher. Okay, those are all different things. Where's the reference suite? Where did the company choose to put the reference suite? At the bottom, on the side, in the middle, in the corner? And is that something that is important to you? Are you using those references regularly, or do you like it more minimalistic and kind of out of the way? If you have any questions about these two specific Bibles, again, there are full reviews on these. I'll post a link in the description just so they're easier to get to. If you want to see the full review, R.L. Allan, ESV New Classic Readers, Cambridge ESV Topaz. But if you have questions that I didn't address here, something you're really looking at the two of these Bibles and need a little help deciding, let me know and I'll do my best. Hey, thanks for taking the time today and hanging with us through this video. I hope that you learned something. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I hope I've earned the privilege of your time. Hey, if you liked this video or you think that the content was interesting and beneficial in any way, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. It helps us to get the videos in front of more people that may be looking for the same information that you were looking for. Again, thank you guys so much for coming by today. Here's a couple other videos you might be interested in checking out. And don't forget, be who you claim to be.